The more you seek approval from others, the less you value yourself. And this is destroying your self-worth without you even realizing it. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor of Rome, faced this same dilemma 2,000 years ago, ruling the greatest empire in the world while battling his own need for external validation. He discovered 3 fundamental principles that completely transformed his perspective on self-worth. And today, these same lessons can free you from this invisible prison in just 7 days of conscious practice. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like and comment what part of the world you're watching from, because now I'm going to tell you everything. Why do so many people feel they must get approval from others before they can feel good about themselves? This is a simple question, but it is also a very important one. Every day, millions of people ask themselves if they are doing the right thing, if others will like them, or if someone will be upset with their choices. This need for approval does not just make people worry. It can shape what they do, what they think, and how they see themselves. From a very young age, people start to notice what others think about them. Children quickly learn that some actions make their parents smile, and some actions do not. At school, teachers give stickers or good grades to those who behave or answer questions the right way. Friends might laugh when someone wears funny clothes or might give a compliment about a new haircut. Even strangers can give a look that means they approve or do not approve. All these small signals teach children that the feelings and thoughts of others can change how they feel about themselves. As time goes on, this habit becomes stronger. Teenagers worry about fitting in with groups. They pay attention to fashion, music, and the way they speak. If one friend gets a new phone, others may suddenly want the same thing. People talk about the right way to act, the cool clothes to wear, or the best job to have. The opinions of others become like a guidebook for how to live. This need for approval does not stop when a person grows up. Adults also look for praise at work. They want their boss to notice their good work or hope to be said thank you after finishing a big task. At home, they want their partner or family to say they are proud. Even small things like getting likes on a photo or a nice comment on a message can give a quick feeling of happiness. Many people feel good when someone else says they did a good job. But why does this matter so much? Why do people let the feelings or words of others decide how they see themselves? The answer is simple. People want to belong. They want to feel loved and accepted. No one likes to feel alone or different in a way that makes them uncomfortable. For this reason, they look to others for clues about how to act and what to choose. However, there is a hidden cost when a person always tries to get approval. Sometimes they do not notice what they really want. Imagine a child who wants to draw for hours, but his parents only praise him when he plays outside. The child might stop drawing just to get smiles from his parents. Later, this child could grow up thinking he does not really like drawing, even when this was something he loved. The same thing can happen in other parts of life. A young woman may want to study art, but her friends and family think that being a doctor is better. She may give up her dream so people will say she made the right choice. A man might not like to wear a suit, but keeps wearing one to his job because everyone at his office does. Over time, both the woman and the man forget to ask what they want. They only think about what will get praise or avoid criticism. This way of living can become a habit so strong that a person does not know where their own thoughts and desires start. Every choice becomes a question about what others will think. People start planning each day based on how to make sure others are not upset, are impressed, or are happy with their choices. This is not only about big things like jobs or school. It even happens with small choices every day. For example, a person might feel nervous picking out clothes, wondering if others will make fun of the color. They may choose food they do not like in a restaurant, just because someone else ordered it first. Some people avoid saying how they really feel in a group because they do not want to be seen as strange. Living this way is tiring. It can make a person feel trapped or stuck, like every step must be planned for someone else. Instead of feeling free to act or speak, a person feels watched. Even when they are alone, they might think about what someone else said or imagine what another person would do in their place. It is easy to think that this problem is unusual. Some may believe that only a few people feel this way. But the truth is that almost everyone, at some time in their life, has worried about what others think. It is a normal part of being human. All through history, people have lived in groups. Belonging to a group was often the difference between safety and danger. In the past, if someone was pushed out of their group, they might not have survived. Even if things are different now, the habit remains. However, just because this need for approval is normal does not mean it is always helpful. When this habit is too strong, it can become a problem. People start to forget what makes them happy. They miss chances to do what is right for them. They get used to asking, "Will this make others happy?" without ever asking, "Will this make me happy?" Life becomes like a test that never ends, trying to score points with everyone else, even strangers. A person might wake up and immediately think about who they will see and how to act so those people are not upset. If a mistake happens, they might worry about it for hours or even days. They may replay a conversation in their mind many times, thinking about whether they said the right thing or if someone will be angry. Sometimes adults do not notice how much this habit rules their lives. They think it is normal to check with others before making a choice. It feels strange or scary to do something without knowing what others will say. For many, the need for approval becomes a quiet rule that is always there, in every corner of life. This rule tells people to work hard, not just for themselves, but to gain praise. It tells them to hide their real thoughts if those thoughts might upset others. It teaches them that making a mistake is something to feel ashamed about. Over time, this way of thinking grows stronger and can fill almost every part of daily life. Living to please others might seem like a good way to stay safe or to be liked, but it has a cost. The more a person tries to fit in, the less they practice listening to themselves. Their inner voice gets quieter. It is like following a map that always leads somewhere else, instead of showing the way home. After a while, people forget what truly makes them smile, what ideas excite them, or what dreams they once had. There are many simple signs that the need for approval has become too strong. One sign is always looking for praise, even for small things. Another sign is feeling worried about other people's feelings or reactions more than your own. Some people stop talking about their real interests because they think others will laugh or not understand. Others say yes to requests, even when they want to say no, just to avoid making someone upset. Sometimes a person catches themselves changing the way they act, depending on who they are with. This might mean laughing at a joke they do not find funny, or pretending to like something they do not care about. At first, these changes can seem small, but over months and years, they add up. The person starts acting in ways that do not match their real feelings or thoughts. This habit also makes it harder to trust yourself. When you always check what others want or say, you start to think they know better than you do. You might stop making choices for yourself because you think you will get it wrong. It becomes more and more difficult to know what makes you happy, proud, or excited. Trying to please everyone is impossible. No person can make every friend, family member, or stranger see things the same way. One person might love your idea, while another does not like it at all. You cannot control how people think or feel. Still, the habit of trying to do so is very hard to break. Some people notice that nothing is ever enough. Even when they get praise or approval, it feels good only for a short time. Then, the worry returns. They may replay the last thing someone said, hoping it means they did well. Or if they do not hear praise, they might feel they failed, even if no one is upset. This cycle can go on and on. Over time, it leads to feeling tired, uncertain, and sometimes even sad or empty. When someone makes a choice only to please others, they might feel safe for a while, but often they lose touch with what is most important to them. Years can pass, and the person might look back and realize they let go of dreams because they were afraid of not getting approval. This is a heavy price to pay. Some people say that this is just the way things are. They tell themselves it is normal to want praise, to be liked, or to avoid trouble. It is true that everyone enjoys kind words and support, but there is a big difference between liking praise and needing it so much that you cannot make a decision without it. Real freedom comes from knowing that your value is not decided by what others think. It is natural to care what other people feel, but it should not rule your life. When you start to notice how much time and energy you spend worrying about approval, you can begin to make small changes. This process starts by being honest with yourself. Ask if your choices are coming from your own heart, or if you are doing things only to make others happy. Pay attention to moments when you want to say no, but say yes because you are afraid of disapproval. Notice when you hide your true feelings or opinions. Change does not happen all at once. It takes practice to listen to yourself again. It may feel uncomfortable at first. You might worry that others will be upset or will not accept you. But each small step builds your confidence in your own thoughts and feelings. Some people find it helpful to write down what they like, what matters to them, and what they would do if no one else had an opinion. Others talk to a friend or a counselor about these thoughts. The important thing is to begin noticing the difference between choices made for yourself and choices made only to get approval. As you pay attention to these moments, you learn more about yourself. You find out what matters most to you, what you enjoy, and what helps you grow. Over time, the need for approval becomes less powerful. Your days feel lighter. You start to notice what makes you happy, not just what pleases others. It is possible to care about others without letting their opinions control your life. This means being kind and respectful, but also honest about your own needs and wants. When you remember this simple truth, you can begin to live in a new way, one that brings more peace and real happiness. When people begin to notice the reasons behind their actions, they open the door to understanding how deeply approval from others shapes life. Each day is filled with choices. Some are very small, like choosing which shirt to wear or what to eat for breakfast. Some are large, like deciding on a job or where to live. When the search for approval is strong, these choices are guided not by what feels good or right inside, but by the hope of being noticed, accepted, or praised by others. You might wake up and think about what people will say about your clothes. You might wonder if your friends will like your outfit, or if your boss will think you look professional enough. You might want to wear something colorful, but you pick something plain because you are afraid someone will joke about it. These small choices happen every morning. They might seem unimportant, but when this pattern happens every day, it shapes how you see yourself and the world. The way you act changes when you are searching for approval. Instead of laughing at things that make you happy, you may laugh when others do. Instead of speaking your own thoughts, you might say what you think people want to hear. At lunch, maybe you choose a meal you do not enjoy, just because the group suggests it. You start to lose touch with what you like and what you believe, because making other people comfortable feels safer. Bigger choices are also affected. People sometimes go to school for a subject they do not care about, just because family members believe that is the best choice. Years later, they find themselves working in a job that does not make them happy. The original reason for the choice was not what would help them grow or feel fulfilled. Their goal was to make sure others would say, "Well done," or "You made a good decision." The desire to be seen in a good way can even shape where a person lives, who they spend time with, or what dreams they follow. In friendships and relationships, the search for approval affects honesty as well. If you are friends with someone who does not like a certain kind of music, you might hide the fact that you love it. Maybe you keep your favorite books out of sight because someone once made a joke about them. Sometimes a person wants to say how they truly feel, but they change the words or hold them back, hoping to avoid upset or judgment. This might feel easier, but deep inside it creates distance from your true self. At work, this habit can be even stronger. Maybe you have an idea in a meeting, but you keep quiet, worried that your co-workers will not agree. When you get a project, you focus on trying to do it the right way in the eyes of your manager instead of trying your own ideas. It feels as though approval is something you have to win over and over again. If you make a mistake, you may feel like a failure, not just in what you did, but as a person. This pattern is not only about what is said aloud. Sometimes the approval or disapproval is not spoken, but shown in a look, a sigh, or silence. A parent might not say anything after hearing your plan, but you can feel the disappointment or doubt in their face. A friend might change the topic when you talk about your interest, and you understand from that silence that it was not what they wanted to hear. The fear of these reactions can be stronger than words. After many days, months, or years of these moments, the way you make decisions starts to change. It feels like you must always check a mental list of all the people who matter to you. You may find yourself guessing what your partner would say, or how your parents would feel, before you allow yourself to move forward. The simple act of making a choice becomes full of small worries. Some people find that they do not even know what they want anymore. They have practiced pleasing others for so long, it is hard to hear their own wishes. Wanting approval becomes the main reason behind many choices. Over time, the difference between what you do for yourself and what you do for others starts to disappear. This way of living affects your mood and your energy. It can lead to feeling anxious during simple events, like picking a restaurant or deciding what movie to watch. You might hope that someone else will decide for you, making it easier and safer. You may wait for a friend or family member to give a signal before you share your real opinion. Life starts to feel heavy when so much attention is on keeping other people happy or content. Sometimes, this desire for approval makes you ignore things that are important to you. You might stop practicing a hobby because others do not respect it. You hide your love for drawing, reading, or singing because you fear someone's laughter or doubt. If you love going for walks but your friends do not, you might stop going out just to avoid being different. All of these habits create a simple but powerful problem. When you always look outside yourself for approval, your own needs and wishes seem less important. It becomes easy to think, "My ideas do not matter," or "My feelings are less important." The more you act this way, the harder it is to feel strong or proud of who you are. Family has a very strong role in this. Many people want to make their parents proud. They want to be the son or daughter who is always described as good or responsible. When a parent praises a certain path, it feels easier to go that way, even if your heart is unsure. If parents show disappointment, even in small ways, it can be enough to push someone away from what they love. Friendships and social groups also shape the choices people make. When people in your group enjoy certain activities or have specific opinions, it is natural to want to fit in. You might join in just to feel close and connected. The idea of being left out or laughed at is painful, so you try to avoid it, sometimes by hiding your real beliefs. Social media can make this feeling stronger. Every post can feel like a small performance, waiting for likes, comments, and shares. If your idea or photo is not noticed, you might ask yourself what is wrong. If many people click like, it can feel good, but only for a short time. The cycle continues, and your mind returns to thinking, "What should I do next so people approve?" This habit can even shape your body language. Some people smile when they do not feel happy, just to please others. They nod in agreement to ideas they do not support. They move their hands, change their voice, or hide their true feelings, all to avoid disappointing others. This way, even parts of your body begin to follow the search for approval. When important events come, like celebrations, job interviews, or family gatherings, the habit grows. You prepare your words carefully. You work hard to pick the right clothes, say the right things, and avoid mistakes. Every detail feels important because you hope for good reactions from those around you. Any criticism or lack of response can feel heavy and hard to forget. Noticing the true shape of this habit is not always easy. Sometimes people think they are just being polite or showing respect. Respect is important, of course, but there is a line where respect for others becomes ignoring yourself. When all your choices are based on what others think, you lose the chance to grow and discover deeper parts of yourself. Over time, the need for approval can make it hard to take risks or try new things. You might dream of moving to another city or learning a new skill, but you worry too much about what family or friends will say. The fear of hearing "that is silly" or "that is not for you" can be enough to stop you before you try. This keeps you in one place, safe but stuck. As more time passes, there can be moments when you feel confused about your own wishes. If someone asks, "What do you like?" or "What do you want to do?" you may not know how to answer. Instead, you look at the people around you, waiting for them to guide your response. You may even hope they decide for you, so you do not risk being wrong. People who live this way can experience stress and anxiety. Making simple choices feels hard. Life can seem like a test, with rules that are always changing. If a friend changes their mind, you may feel lost. If a family member gives advice, you might follow it, even when it does not fit you. The long-term effect is feeling like you never finish searching for the right answer. It is clear that the habit of looking for approval can touch every part of life. It affects how you dress, speak, work, love, and rest. It shapes your hobbies, your dreams, your friendships, and even the way you spend your free time. Instead of growing from inside, you are shaped by the hopes, wishes, or fears of others. This habit can become so strong that you do not see it happening. You may believe you are making free choices, when really, old fears or unspoken rules are guiding you. One way to notice this is to watch for moments when you feel nervous, ashamed, or afraid to speak the truth. These moments are often signs that you are worried about approval. Some people find themselves avoiding situations where they might stand out. They may keep quiet in groups, even when they want to share. They might cancel plans or stay home, afraid of looking silly. The more often this happens, the smaller life gets. There are fewer chances to learn about what really makes you happy. Looking honestly at your daily choices is a way to start breaking the pattern. You can ask yourself, if nobody else gave their opinion, what would I do? At first, this question might be hard to answer. The mind is used to thinking about everyone else first. But with practice, the answer becomes clearer. Every person has a right to their own thoughts, needs, and wishes. At first, these may feel hidden or quiet, but they do not disappear. With time, paying attention to your own voice gets easier. You will start to notice which choices are fun, relaxing, or meaningful to you, not only to others. Even when the habit is strong, it can start to change step by step. Listening to your own feelings is a simple skill, even if it takes patience. Some people write in a journal to see what they truly wish for. Others talk honestly with people they trust. Every small step helps you see the difference between living for someone else and living for yourself. It is normal to care about others, and it is healthy to show respect. But the main guide in your life needs to be your own understanding of what is right for you. When you build your choices around your real values and hopes, you start growing on your own terms. Approval from others may still feel good, but it is no longer the center of every decision. Sometimes people worry that making choices for themselves is selfish. But taking care of your own needs does not mean ignoring others. It means honoring the truth inside you. This allows you to be honest, kind, and present for the people in your life. Bit by bit, as you listen to your own voice, it becomes easier to notice when you are acting only for approval. You learn to ask, is this my wish or someone else's? As this skill grows, daily life feels less confusing. You become more sure about what makes you comfortable, proud, or excited. With every honest choice, you build a new kind of strength. As these new habits grow, the emotional weight of always wanting approval begins to lift. This makes space for more energy, creativity, and peace. It becomes easier to rest, to make decisions, and to say what is true for you. Those close to you may also notice the change, your openness, your calm, and your growing happiness. Life starts to feel more like something you create, rather than something you must perform for others. Even in a world where many people look outside for approval, your growing ability to look inside brings you closer to peace and real confidence. When you begin to live each day more honestly, by listening to your real wishes, you might notice new feelings rising inside. At first, paying attention to what you truly want can feel strong and even freeing. But after some days or weeks, you may also feel confused, tired, or even a little sad. It is common to discover that always looking for approval has left an emotional cost that is deeper than you thought. The feeling of always wanting approval does not just affect your choices. It starts to touch the way you feel inside your body and mind. When you make your plans around the thoughts and reactions of other people, your emotions can change very quickly. If someone is kind or gives praise, you feel good for a little while. If someone says nothing or gives a small look of disapproval, you may start to feel nervous or bad about yourself. This way of living can cause a constant and quiet worry. You might wake up in the morning already thinking of what other people expect from you that day. You might make a list in your mind of what you need to do or to say so that nobody will be upset. During the day, every action can feel important, as if one wrong word could make someone dislike you or stop caring for you. Even before you leave the house, you may feel your heart beating faster, your stomach tight, or your hands moving with worry. These feelings are signs that seeking approval has created pressure. It is the pressure of always trying to do the right thing as decided by someone else. Even when you believe you have not made a mistake, you might look for clues that someone is not happy with you. You try to guess what others are thinking. You may spend long minutes remembering small moments from hours or days before, asking yourself if you did something wrong. Over time, this habit creates more than just tiredness. It causes a deep sense of self-doubt. You begin to wonder if your own thoughts, ideas, or feelings are correct at all. When something goes well, you often think it is because you followed what others said rather than because of your own good sense or abilities. When something does not go well, you may think it proves you are not good enough. The voice that once said, "You did your best," grows softer, and the voice that asks, "What will people think?" becomes louder. You might find it difficult to enjoy your successes. Even after you finish an important task or get a good result, your mind quickly moves to ask if others noticed, if they approved, or if they will praise you. A kind word from others can make your day, but without it you might feel empty or anxious. This is because seeking approval directs your feelings outward instead of letting you find peace and pride within yourself. Another cost of needing approval is the feeling of never being good enough, no matter how hard you try. You can put all your energy into pleasing your boss, your parents, your friends, or your partner, but there is always a small worry left. Did I forget something? Did I sound silly? Will they talk about me later? These thoughts can stay in your mind, making it hard to relax or sleep well at night. You may notice this in moments of silence. For example, after a meeting, you remember exactly what you said and how you acted. If someone did not respond, your mind fills in the story and usually believes there is a problem. If someone gives small advice, you may think it means you failed, even if the advice was simple or friendly. Your own sense of worth becomes tied to what others say and do, and this leads to stress and sadness. In some people, this pattern of worry grows into fear. You may fear being rejected, fear being laughed at, or fear losing love and friends. These fears make you careful. You talk less, share fewer new ideas, and try to avoid any mistake. You let others make decisions for you because it feels safer. Living this way makes life smaller. You start to say no to things that could be good for you, just to avoid possible judgment. You stop trying new hobbies, meeting new people, or saying what you really believe. It is as if you are living behind a wall. The more you watch and wait for approval, the higher and thicker the wall becomes. Inside, this leads to sadness and sometimes anger with yourself. You may feel tired of always playing a part. You may wonder, why can I not relax? Why am I afraid to say what I want? Why does the opinion of others control my happiness? These are important questions. They show that your mind and heart are feeling the weight of always needing approval. One more effect of approval seeking is the loss of trust in yourself. Each time you ignore your own voice to follow what others want, your trust in your own choices becomes weaker. At some point, you may even ask yourself if you have your own opinions at all. You wait for others to decide, and you feel lost without someone to tell you what to do. Every emotion becomes more difficult to understand. When you are sad, you hide it, so others do not worry. When you are happy, you may not show it if you think others are upset. This distances you from your true feelings. It becomes easy to mix up the real feeling of happiness with the quick rush of relief when you please someone else. Worry and stress can begin to touch your health as well. You might notice that you feel tired more often or that you have trouble sleeping. Your body can feel heavy or tense. Your mind may feel busy and crowded, making it hard to focus on your work or enjoy simple moments. These are the quiet ways that constantly needing approval hurts both mind and body. Often these feelings are not seen from outside. You may look calm, friendly, or even happy. But inside, you are spending much of your energy watching yourself, trying not to make mistakes, and guessing what others think. When people ask how you are, you may smile and say that all is fine, even when it is not true. The quiet costs of approval seeking can be lonely and hard to explain. This deep worry also makes you notice other people's feelings more than your own. You quickly see if someone else is bothered or upset, even if they say nothing. You may spend hours or even days thinking about a small frown or a short reply. Instead of feeling happy about what you achieved, your mind shifts to worry about the smallest sign of disapproval. With time, these feelings lead to doubt and confusion. If you make a choice, you wonder if it was the right one. If you pick a movie, you wonder if everyone will enjoy it. If you suggest a restaurant or activity, you worry that someone will complain. This mental habit makes even simple things hard. Because of these worries, you may start to avoid anything that feels new or risky. This keeps life safe, but small. You stick to the same routines and people and rarely show a new side of yourself. You hope that by avoiding mistakes or disapproval, you will stay comfortable, but this comfort does not last. Instead, it leads to boredom and more self-doubt. In close relationships, this pattern can create distance. You might keep your real problems private because you do not want to upset your partner or friends. You agree with things you do not really like just to keep the peace. You avoid saying, "I need help," or "I feel sad," because you worry about causing trouble. Over time, this reduces honesty and trust, making it hard for others to truly know you. Sometimes even happy moments feel wrong. If you get praised at work, you feel excited for a minute, but then you wonder if it will last. If a friend compliments you, you may worry they do not really mean it. Your feelings rise and fall quickly, always depending on what someone else does or says. In families, this habit can last for many years. You may remember a parent who wanted you to always succeed. You may think about a brother, sister, or cousin who was praised more often. These memories can live inside you for a long time, making you work very hard to get the same approval, even as an adult. Sometimes, the need for approval hides deeper feelings from childhood. Maybe you heard many times that you should not speak up, that you should be easy to manage, or that mistakes were not allowed. Even if you do not remember these words anymore, the feeling can stay with you. This makes it difficult to believe you are good enough, just as you are. The emotional cost of seeking approval can even change the way you talk to yourself. Instead of kind words, you may use harsh or critical ones in your mind. When you notice a mistake, your mind may say, "You are always wrong," or "You will never be good enough." These words are heavy and make the feeling of sadness or worry stronger. As the habit of approval seeking continues, it can become more difficult to enjoy life. You may see others laughing or sharing, but inside you feel small or outside the group. Even when people do not judge you, your mind is busy guessing that maybe they are. This takes away your ability to relax and to simply be. Over time, some people begin to avoid social situations completely. They do not want to risk being disliked or rejected. They stay home or say no to chances that might bring joy or success. This increases loneliness, making sadness and self-doubt even stronger. Emotional costs can also be shown through hidden anger. You might become frustrated at yourself for always saying yes or for never stating your real opinion. Sometimes this anger gets directed at others. You may feel upset when others do not notice how much effort you are putting in, or when they seem not to care as deeply as you do. One of the hardest things about this cycle is that approval, when it does come, never feels like enough. No matter how many good words, smiles, or signs you get from others, your mind still waits for something more. The feeling of emptiness does not go away because it is not being filled from inside. There may also be moments of feeling guilty after taking care of your own needs. You might worry that you hurt someone by saying no or by asking for help. These feelings of guilt make it harder for you to feel strong and proud of your choices. Small moments of happiness may come when you get a kind word or a smile, but these moments do not last. They are quickly replaced by the next worry or the next need to please someone. This cycle of worry and small relief can make your life feel unsteady. From the outside, it is easy to tell someone to just stop caring what others think. But from the inside, these feelings are real and powerful. The habit of seeking approval is built over years of life experiences. It can feel like you are going against what feels safe, or even going against love itself. Learning to notice these emotional costs is a brave first step. The more you understand how your mind and heart have been shaped by the search for approval, the more you can see that these feelings can change. You do not have to live with worry, self-doubt, and sadness as your quiet companions. When you pay attention to your own feelings, you can begin to see which emotions come from your own heart and which are tied to the opinions of others. Each time you support yourself with kind words, each time you say what you truly think, each time you accept a mistake without harsh judgment, you are teaching your heart and mind a new way to be. Even when the habit is strong, each honest and caring action helps you find your real value. The process may take time and patience, but every small step away from needing approval gives you back part of your peace, your trust, and your joy. When you see how the search for approval has shaped your feelings, your self-talk, and your choices, you are already beginning to open a space for something better. As you keep listening, noticing, and being kind to yourself, you create the strength to let go of the old patterns and become more of who you are for your own sake. As you continue to notice the feelings and worries that come from always searching for approval, you may also discover that something even more important can be lost: your sense of personal value. Many people who look outside for praise or acceptance slowly forget what makes them special or worthy. This change does not happen in a single day. It happens over many days, weeks, months, and years. One small decision after another, one silent moment, one avoided truth, all build a life in which you stop seeing the good things within yourself. At first, you might remember your own dreams and what you love to do. You might feel proud about something you created, about a kind word you offered, or about how you handled a difficult situation. But when approval from others is the goal, these feelings begin to hide. Instead of trusting what you like or want, your mind waits for someone else to agree. If others do not see your talent or your kindness, you may start to believe it is not real or not enough. Many times, this loss of self-worth is not easy to notice. You follow the rules, try to make everyone else happy, and do what is expected. When you are praised, you feel good for a moment. However, if people do not notice your actions, or if they do not give you attention, you feel forgotten or unimportant. The thought, "Maybe I do not matter," can start as a quiet feeling and grow louder over time. You may stop celebrating your own small and big victories. When you reach a goal, you look around to see who will clap, who will say, "Congratulations." If nobody does, your victory feels empty. When a friend gets many compliments, you may feel left out, even if you worked just as hard. When this pattern repeats, your mind learns that your value is only real if someone else says so. This way of thinking asks you to ignore your true self. When you want to share something important, but you stay silent because of fear, you lose a little connection to who you are. When you choose what others expect, not what you want, you get farther from your real wishes and dreams. Over time, you may not even remember what those wishes were, because you have trained yourself to notice what others need before you see your own needs. Every time you hide your feelings, opinions, or ideas, it becomes easier for you to believe that what you think does not matter. You might start to think your needs are not as great as the needs of other people. You may tell yourself that it is selfish to ask for what you want, even if it is something very small. When this happens again and again, you might start to disappear from your own life. The habits that make you lose sight of your value are often learned very early. Maybe as a child you were asked to sit quietly so others could speak. Maybe you were told that your worries were not important or that your dreams were too strange. These messages stay with you, even when you grow up. Without meaning to, you keep repeating these old ideas and make them part of how you live. In your everyday actions, this loss shows itself in many simple ways. You say yes when you mean no because you want to be seen as good or easy to get along with. You agree with someone even when you feel different, just to avoid a discussion. You put the happiness of a friend, partner, parent, or boss before your own, again and again. After some time, it feels natural to ignore your true self. When you only look to others for approval, you teach yourself to believe that you are only as good as the last nice word someone said. Quiet moments feel heavy and sometimes scary because you do not know what you really think or feel anymore. You may look in the mirror and see someone who tries hard, but cannot remember the last time you did something just for your own joy. Noticing that you have lost touch with your value can bring strong feelings. There may be sadness, and there may even be anger at yourself or at people from your past. It is also common to feel confused, not knowing how to find your way back to who you are. Some people feel they have become invisible, even when surrounded by others. When you lose sight of your value, you may also become afraid to try new things. You do not want to risk looking silly or making a mistake. You avoid sharing new ideas or starting a new project because you imagine what others would think if you fail. You wait for someone else to show you that it is safe to try. Your dreams become smaller, and so does your world. Relationships also change when you forget your worth. If you believe your needs are not important, you may let others choose for you again and again. You might always give in, hoping that by doing so, you will keep the peace or be liked. But slowly, you may notice that you feel lonely even when you are not alone. The distance between how you behave and what you truly want grows bigger, and this can bring even more pain. People who stop seeing their own value may talk to themselves in a harsh or unkind way. You might notice thoughts like, "I am not good enough," "nobody really cares," or "I never do things right." These words shape the way you feel in daily life. They make you shrink your dreams, say little, and hope that if you follow the rules, one day you will finally be enough. The loss of self-worth often hides itself behind busyness. You fill your schedule with things you can do for others. You take on more work, more favors, more extra tasks, thinking that maybe, just maybe, after one more act or one more good result, someone will see you and value you. When this does not happen, or when the praise is brief, you feel empty again. If you try to rest or take care of yourself, you may feel guilt. You may think, "I am lazy," or "I am taking time from someone else." Even when you feel tired or unwell, you push yourself to show up, to help, to do 100 small things, all in the hope that this will prove something about your value. This cycle makes you forget that every person, including you, deserves care and kindness. The loss of self can also show itself when making choices. You might ask many people for their opinion before you decide on anything. You might wait until someone else says it is okay. Sometimes you do not make a choice at all, but simply go with what everyone else is doing. At first, this can feel safe, but with time, it leaves you feeling powerless. You start to believe that you cannot choose well for yourself. You may notice that you have stopped talking about your dreams. You may not even allow yourself to think about them. When old hopes come up, you quickly push them away, telling yourself that it is not possible or that it does not matter. Your dreams feel far away, like something that belongs to someone else. Friendships can change too. You might avoid sharing your real problems or joys. You worry that you will seem selfish if you talk about yourself. When your friends share, you listen and help, but when it is your turn, you stay quiet. You may feel proud of being strong or helpful, but inside you feel empty and unknown. This way of living can make each day heavy and tiring. It is hard to wake up excited when you do not feel seen, even by yourself. It is hard to feel proud of your work when you are always measuring it by what others think or say. It is hard to celebrate small joys when you believe you must earn permission to feel good. Even your body can show signs of this hidden sadness. You may feel tired often or notice small health problems that come from worry or stress. Your sleep may be restless. You may have more headaches or stomach problems without a clear reason. The mind and body are connected, and when you forget your value, both feel the effects. There are moments when you might wonder if others also feel this way. The truth is, many people have periods in life when they forget what makes them special. The habit of always seeking approval is common, and the pain it quietly brings is shared by many. Remembering this does not take away the struggle, but it can help you feel less alone. Sometimes, the world you see, at school, at work, on the street, and on social media shows only happy, confident faces. But many of those people are also hoping for a kind word, a sign that they are enough. Many are hiding worries and doubt, just as you are. Seeing this truth can help you to start looking with more kindness at yourself and others. The journey back to your own value does not happen in a single step. It starts with noticing the pain and confusion that come from always needing outside approval. It continues with simple questions you can ask yourself like, what do I want right now? And what matters to me in this moment? It grows with small, honest actions, such as saying what you really think or taking a small break just because you need it, not because you earned it. Little by little, you can remember what made you feel excited, curious, or peaceful when you were younger, or before you began to shape your life so strongly around others' needs. You might try those things again in small and gentle ways. Even if it feels awkward, every time you bring back a small piece of yourself, you open the door to healing. Writing in a notebook, drawing, walking outside, or sitting in silence can help you listen again for your own voice. You might ask yourself what you need or what you wish for, without judging or trying to be perfect. You can begin to treat yourself with the same kindness and patience that you offer to the people you care about. When you find something you like, something that makes you feel proud or peaceful, you can celebrate it, even if no one else notices. You can let yourself smile or feel joy for your own sake, not for a like, a compliment, or a word of praise. This small change can grow stronger with practice. The more you listen to your wishes and dreams, the more your value begins to return to you, day by day. Sometimes you may still feel the old pull to please others or to ask for approval. This feeling may never fully disappear, but you do not have to let it rule your life. Each time you choose to listen to your own heart, even in a small way, you make your true self a little stronger. It is also important to remember that every person, including you, has strengths and weaknesses, good days and sad days, moments of courage and times of fear. Your value is in being real and honest, not perfect. When you accept all parts of yourself, you do not need to wait for someone else to tell you that you are enough. Being honest about your needs and wishes does not mean ignoring others. You can care for people and listen to them without letting go of yourself. In fact, when you show up as your real self, it is possible to have deeper friendships, more honest love, and more trust from others. People respect someone who is true, even if that means saying, "I do not agree," or "This is what I need." With patience and care, you can begin to set gentle limits. You can say yes when you mean it, and no when you need to. You can notice when you are following an old habit and choose a new path, even if it is small. With each honest moment, your sense of value becomes more steady and strong. Your life becomes more joyful when you practice seeing yourself kindly. The world outside may still have rules, opinions, and people who want you to fit in, but you will remember that your value does not change, no matter what anyone else does or says. With this understanding, you are free to be kind to yourself, proud of your actions, and open to new dreams, just because you are alive and worthy. When you start to see your value and treat yourself with kindness, you might also notice how approval from others has affected your confidence. You may realize how easy it is to doubt your choices. You may feel nervous about saying what you want or need. Each time you wait for someone else to tell you that you are doing well, your trust in your own mind can weaken a little more. Over many days and years, this can make even small actions feel hard. There are many ways that looking outside yourself for approval can make your confidence less steady. Sometimes you stop trusting your own ideas. You may wonder if you really know what is best for you, or if you always need to check with parents, friends, or co-workers before making a decision. You may hear your own thoughts, but still feel unsure, waiting for someone else to agree before you move forward. This habit can show itself in daily life in many simple ways. At home, you may let others choose what to eat or where to go. You may feel uncomfortable giving your opinion, or you keep silent when you know something needs to be said. If a friend or family member asks for your thoughts, you may simply agree to avoid standing out. When you say yes to things you do not like, you may do it because you are worried about being rejected for disagreeing. At school or at work, the fear of judgment can also change how you act. Maybe you have an idea for a project, but decide not to share it because you do not know if your boss will approve. Maybe you want to ask a question in class, but you stop yourself because you are afraid of looking foolish. You may try to be invisible, hoping that keeping quiet is safer than making a mistake. This quiet fear can take away simple joys. You might want to try something new, like learning a skill or joining a group, but you hold back. The worry about failing or being seen as different stops you before you start. Each time you hide your real thoughts, your belief in yourself gets a little weaker. You may come to think that only other people have good ideas, or that your choices will always be wrong. It can be hard to notice when doubt is growing. You may see yourself acting quietly, saying little and thinking, "It is just my way." But under the surface, there is often a deep wish to be noticed, liked, and accepted. When people praise your efforts, it feels good for a while. But when the good words go away, the old doubts return. As this pattern repeats itself, it can make you avoid sharing your true self. You believe that what you think or feel is risky or strange. You might stop taking part in discussions or hide your favorite hobbies. You might even stop dreaming about making changes in your life because you feel too small or too unsure to try. Fear of judgment is very strong. You may notice it when you need to say no to something that does not feel right. The thought of disappointing someone can feel heavier than your own wish or comfort. You may decide to go along with things just so that people will not see you in a bad way. Saying no starts to feel impossible, and soon you feel that your wants and needs do not matter. This leads to giving up your power in important moments. When a decision must be made, you wait for others to choose, hoping that their approval will make you feel secure. But this does not make the fear go away. It only makes the feeling of weakness stronger. The more you avoid making choices, the harder it is to trust any choice you do make. Over time, your self-confidence can drop very low. You might ask for help or advice for every step, even small things. You might send messages to friends just to check if your thinking is right. You might watch people around you and try to copy their actions, believing they know better than you do. Your world gets smaller when you always doubt your ideas and choices. Another way loss of confidence shows itself is through perfectionism. You may decide that only perfect actions, perfect words, and perfect results are safe. If you cannot be perfect, you believe it is better not to try at all. This keeps you from growing, learning, and becoming stronger. Perfectionism is not about being your best. It is about fear of being less. Being afraid of mistakes can also make you feel frozen. You may spend a long time thinking about all the ways something could go wrong. You may talk yourself out of trying, or you take so long to decide that the chance disappears. You might review every small thing you say or do, hoping to find the mistake before anyone else does. Your relationships with others are also affected. When you lack confidence, you may try hard to please everyone, even at the cost of your well-being. You put others' needs before your own, believing that if you make everyone happy, you will be happy too. But after many times, this way of living empties you. You may feel tired, stressed, or upset, but you do not know how to fix it. Sometimes the people around you notice your lack of confidence and may act in ways that make it worse. They might give more advice than support. They may make jokes about your quietness or ask, "Why do you never speak up?" These moments can hurt, and they can make you want to hide your true self even more. It may start to feel as though nothing you do is enough. You measure your worth by the opinions of others and the approval you get. You may find that you never feel good enough, no matter how hard you try. Your confidence shrinks until you do not even want to try anymore. The habit of looking for approval is so deep that you may not even realize it is the cause of your doubts. You might think, "I am just shy," or "I am not smart," when in truth it is the habit itself. Years of waiting for someone else to decide your worth have made you forget how it feels to trust your thoughts. You might remember a time when you felt free, when you tried new things without worry, when you shared your ideas or laughed at your own mistakes. Those feelings can feel far away now, but they are still there, waiting for you. Your old confidence can return with care and patience. It is important to remember that every person has doubts sometimes. There is no one who always feels sure. The difference is whether you let those doubts control you. When your habit is to always seek approval before acting, the doubts become stronger. They shape your days and your choices. Recovering confidence means changing small actions every day. You do not have to become loud or bold overnight. You can start by noticing the moments you hear your inner voice. When you want to say no, try to say it gently. When you have an idea, try to share it with one person you trust. If you feel afraid, notice the feeling, but do not let it decide everything for you. As you practice trusting yourself, you start to feel stronger inside. You realize that making a mistake does not mean you are a bad person. It is normal for things to go wrong sometimes. The important thing is to try and to learn, not to be perfect or to please everyone. Every step you take on your own helps you remember that your ideas and wishes matter. It can help to write down your good qualities, your successes, and the moments when you did trust yourself. You may be surprised at what you discover. Ask friends or loved ones to share what they like about you, not so you can depend on praise, but so you can learn to see yourself clearly. Practice saying kind things to yourself, especially after a hard day. Building confidence in yourself is like growing a small plant. At first, it is weak, but if you keep watering it with care and small acts of bravery, it gets stronger. You do not need to do everything perfectly. Your life does not have to be approved by others for it to have meaning. Try to set small goals that help you take action, even when you are afraid. If you want to express your opinion, start with someone who feels safe. If you want to try a new class or hobby, let yourself make mistakes and notice what you learn. Every small act of courage adds to your confidence, even if no one else notices. Sometimes low confidence can make you feel invisible or unimportant. You may feel that your voice is lost in a crowd or that your ideas do not count. Even when people invite you to speak, you may think your words are not worth listening to. This is not true. Every person has something to offer. You have lived your own life. You have your own hopes, pains, and joys that only you can share. Learning to hear and trust your feelings will also help. If you are tired, let yourself rest. If you are sad, accept your own sadness. If you are excited, let yourself feel that joy, even if it is small. The more honest you are with what you feel, the easier it is to know what is right for you. The more you practice this honesty, the more real and strong your confidence grows. If you find yourself afraid of being rejected, try to remember that not everyone will always agree. It is normal for people to have different thoughts, likes, and dislikes. You can respect others without losing your own voice. You can be kind, but also honest about what you want and do not want. Begin to pay attention to your inner voice. Notice when you want to follow someone else's lead and ask yourself why. Are you afraid to upset them? Are you worried about being different? Or are you truly comfortable with the choice? The more you become aware, the more you can choose for yourself. If people criticize you or do not understand your ideas, it can hurt, but it does not change your worth. You can listen, decide what is useful, and let go of anything that does not help you grow. Confidence is about knowing your value, not about having everyone approve of your choices. People will not always understand, and that is okay. When you stand up for yourself, even in small ways, you learn you can survive discomfort. You begin to notice that the world does not fall apart when you say what you mean. Some people might not like it, but others may respect your honesty. Most importantly, you will respect yourself. As your confidence grows, you may still notice moments of doubt. This is normal, especially at first. What matters is that you practice returning to your own truth. When things feel hard, try to support yourself the way you would support a friend. Speak kindly to yourself. Remind yourself of what you have accomplished, and let mistakes be part of your learning. Sometimes, rebuilding lost confidence means stepping slowly out of your comfort zone. Take one small risk at a time. Notice how you feel, and remind yourself that you are learning. If things do not go well, try again. Ask for help when you need it, but also give yourself credit for trying. As you grow in self-trust, you are able to face challenges with a calmer mind. You can accept both success and failure, knowing that neither changes your worth. You begin to stop fearing other people's judgment. You learn to rely on your own sense of what is right for you. At times, you may help others learn to trust themselves too. When you share your story or listen without judgment, you show others it is possible to feel strong again. Everyone needs support, and your experience can be a gift. Confidence does not mean always being sure. It means allowing yourself to learn, to fail, to try new things, and to keep going in your own way. With every small step, you build a life that feels real and safe. You do not depend on praise or outside approval for your happiness. Making decisions becomes easier. Even if you stop to think about what others might say, you still listen to your own voice. You weigh others' opinions without forgetting what you want. You can care about people, but also care about yourself. You learn that both are possible. Trust will grow stronger the more you practice. The world may still offer doubts and criticism, but you will meet these with a steady heart. Your choices become your own. You discover that your life has meaning beyond anyone else's judgment. You will find that gaining confidence is a path you walk every day. Even if you began with small steps, every day adds to your strength. Each new choice, each honest word, and each gentle act of self-respect makes you more sure of your true value. Bit by bit, your life feels fuller, your mind calmer, and your heart at peace, because your worth does not depend on anyone else. As you begin to feel more trust in your choices and actions, it becomes clear that how you see your own value is at the heart of feeling confident and at peace. Many people spend much of their lives asking if they are good enough, if they matter, or if they have something to offer. Sometimes these questions are quiet, and sometimes they are loud. You may notice them in small moments, such as when you are alone with your thoughts or when you look in the mirror. These questions can shape your happiness, your relationships, and how you move through the world. It is easy to think that other people can give you value. You may hope that if someone praises you or shows you that you are loved, you will finally feel sure about yourself. You may think that a good job, money, nice things, or a big group of friends can prove you are important. People learn early to connect value with the outside world, because the world so often sends messages about beauty, skills, success, or popularity as proof of worth. But the truth is simple. Every person has value just because they are alive. You do not have to earn your worth. You do not have to meet the hopes or rules of other people. You do not have to look a certain way, have a certain job, or reach certain goals to be enough. Your value cannot be given by anyone else, and it cannot be taken away by anyone else. When you understand this truth, you feel a weight lifting from you. You no longer have to fight or prove yourself every day. You do not need to beg for kindness or respect. You already belong. Every human being is worthy of love, care, and safety simply because they exist. It is important to remember this, not just when things go well, but every day, on both good days and hard days. Learning that your value is not up for debate often feels new and strange. You might notice your mind trying to argue with this idea. Maybe you hear voices from the past telling you that you have to be perfect, or that you are not special unless someone else says so. Maybe you remember mistakes or moments when people hurt you, and these memories make you question your worth again. Sometimes it can help to look at the facts of life. There are millions of people alive today, and every one of them is unique. Each person, no matter where they live or what they do, has hopes, fears, memories, dreams, and feelings. Even people who have hurt others or made mistakes still have value as humans. You, with all your good parts and all your hard parts, are just as valuable as anyone else. It is possible to notice value in small things. The way you help someone, the way you listen, the way you learn, and even the way you try each day, even when times are hard, all show your humanity and your worth. Your value does not change when you fail, when you are sad, or when you do not meet someone's idea of good. You would not tell a small child or a close friend that they are only valuable after they prove something, and you do not have to believe that for yourself. Many people mix up self-worth with achievement. You might think, if I finish my work, then I am good. Or, if I lose weight, then I will be worthy. Or, when I become rich, people will respect me. These thoughts are learned from others, but they are not true. Achievements can make you proud, but they do not define whether you are enough as a person. It is possible to try for new things, learn new skills, and reach for dreams without tying your value to the outcome. When you know that you are enough, you can try, make mistakes, and try again, all while being proud of your effort. The world outside may offer praise or criticism, but your center remains calm. You are no longer just a result of what other people think. Sometimes you may feel lost because you cannot find proof of your worth in how your life looks. Maybe people do not say thank you. Maybe you do not have a lot of money. Maybe you made mistakes that you regret. These things are only small pieces of your story. They do not erase the simple value you have as a living being. You are not alone in feeling unsure. People everywhere from all walks of life have moments of questioning. Some of the most successful people in the world still wonder if they are enough. Some of the people who seem happy and loud are also searching for proof that they matter. The need for love and respect is part of being human, but it is best met by giving yourself love and respect first. When you stop looking for your worth in other people's words, actions, or opinions, you can begin to live in a more honest way. You do not need to please strangers. You do not need to change to fit someone's idea of better. You can feel proud just for being real and trying each day. You can feel calm even if others do not understand or agree. One way to practice believing in your value is to remind yourself of all the small things you do. Each day you care for your body, you speak to others, you move, you create, and you learn. You have thoughts and feelings that are one of a kind. When you stop for a moment and look at all you are, you can see that you already have worth. You do not need to add anything else to be an important person. Sometimes old habits will make you forget this truth. You may look at others and think they are better or they have more. You may feel envy or shame. These feelings are natural after years of being taught to measure yourself against others. But you can kindly remind yourself that no one is above or below you. Each person walks their own hard road. If you knew their hearts, you would see that every person is learning and struggling in their own way. If you feel small or unsure, you can return to your breath and your body. Notice your heartbeat. Notice that you are alive. Life itself is enough to prove that you matter. Nothing else is required. People sometimes believe that letting go of outside approval will make them selfish or uncaring, but this is not true. When you know your own value, you become kinder and braver. You can listen to others, help them, and share love because you do not need them to fill you up. You are peaceful inside and less likely to speak or act in ways that hurt others. You become free to try new things. You can speak your truth. You can set clear limits and also be gentle. You are less shaken by the moods or words of others. When someone criticizes you, you do not have to agree. When someone praises you, you can say thank you, but you do not need it to know your own value. The voices around you fade to the background as you develop a solid, gentle sense of self. Your value is not measured by the things you own, the job you do, or what you look like. It is not decided by how many friends you have, nor by how well you please your family. You cannot lose your value. You were born enough, and you will end your life just as worthy as the day you began. Learning to hold on to this truth may feel strange, especially if your mind is trained to see value in other ways. Some people write the words, "I am enough," and repeat them each morning and night. Some people keep reminders nearby, such as a stone, a note, or a photo, as a quiet promise to themselves. Whenever you feel doubt, you can return to your promise. It is natural for the mind to slip back into old patterns. Maybe you get jealous. Maybe you feel lonely and wish you could be someone else. Maybe you make a mistake and your mind tells you, you are not good. You can greet these thoughts kindly and then let them pass like clouds. You do not need to hold on to them. You remember what is true. You have value. When you accept that your worth is not given by others, you begin to treat yourself differently. You show more patience. You forgive yourself for old mistakes. You let yourself rest, play, and dream, not because you have earned it, but because it is your right as a living being. This truth changes how you connect with the world. You no longer depend on someone else's attention, love, or praise to feel safe. You give yourself quiet care. When you make choices, you check your heart first. You learn to ask, is this right for me? Does this bring me peace? Am I honest with myself? If others judge you or leave you out, you feel less pain. You know that sometimes people are busy, distracted, or facing problems you cannot see. You do not turn every rejection into proof that you are not enough. You know that your worth is not in question. Even on lonely or sad days, you do not stop loving yourself. Every time you face a new problem or disappointment, your understanding grows. You may feel grief, anger, or fear, but you do not let these feelings decide the truth about your value. You let yourself feel what you need to, and then you move forward. Each hard moment is simply a moment, not a trial of your worth. When you remember your value, you stop needing to show off, explain yourself, or win every argument. You learn to listen more and react less. You give what you can, but you also know when to step back. You say yes when you mean yes, and no when you mean no, without guilt or shame. Relationships become more honest and caring when they are not built on proving worth. You do not depend on anyone to make you feel whole. You love and help because it feels right, not because you are hoping for something in return. You know that nothing can add to or take away from your value. Sometimes others will not understand your choices. Sometimes people will judge without knowing your story. This can still hurt, but your peace is larger. You listen to what is helpful and you let go of the rest. Your value is steady, no matter what storms come your way. On some days, you may still search for signs that you are enough. You might want more praise, more likes, or more kind words. These are normal desires because humans are made for connection. But you return to your quiet center and remember, I am enough, with or without outside approval. This way of seeing your life brings new energy. You are not tired from trying to prove yourself. You have more patience for yourself and others. You find calm even in busy, hard, or strange situations. Remembering your value may lead you to try new things, speak your own truth, or take small risks. You might find talents you forgot. You might find more joy in quiet moments without waiting for someone else to notice. You start to seek honesty with yourself as your main goal, not being perfect in someone else's eyes. You can gently challenge old ideas by asking, do I really need this person to like me for my life to have meaning? Or, if I do not get approval today, am I still valuable? These questions help you practice letting go of old habits. You do not need to rush or pressure yourself. It is enough to remember your value again and again. Showing kindness to yourself is another way to practice. Allow yourself to enjoy music, good food, rest, friendship, learning, and play. Remember your value as often as needed, especially when life gets hard or confusing. If you make a mistake, remember it does not decide your worth. If you ever feel lost, remind yourself that being human means having ups and downs. You are not less valuable on hard days or after difficult events. Your value is always there, quiet but present, even when it is hard to see. When you give yourself the gift of believing in your own value, you become a calmer, steadier person. You begin to walk your own path, not trying to copy others. You find the freedom to trust your thoughts, express your feelings, and live in a way that honors your heart. Through each day, through each feeling, you can always return to this truth. Your worth is part of you and is never in question. Life will rise and fall, people will come and go, but you remain enough, always, just as you are. When you know deep inside that you have value and that your life matters for its own sake, you also become ready to start trusting yourself more. This trust means really listening to your own thoughts, feelings, and needs. It means making your own choices and standing by them, even when others do not understand or support you. Building trust in yourself can feel slow or difficult at the start, especially if you have spent many years waiting for approval from outside. But trusting yourself is a skill you can learn step by step. Each day you face many small and big decisions. Some choices may seem easy, while others feel important and difficult. When you want to trust yourself, you learn to notice what happens inside before you ask others what to do. You pay attention to your body and your feelings. If you feel calm and sure, that can be a sign your choice is right for you. If you feel tense, scared, or confused, you may need to pause and listen more deeply. The voices of others may still be loud in your mind at first. You might remember advice from parents, teachers, or friends. You might hear old thoughts telling you to be careful, to fit in, or to check what others want before making a move. These voices do not have to go away for you to start trusting yourself. You can notice them, thank them for trying to protect you, and then gently ask yourself what feels true inside. One way to begin building trust in yourself is to remember small moments in your life when you did something that felt right, even if it was hard. Think about times when you acted with kindness, made a choice on your own, or solved a problem without help. These memories show you that you can listen to your own wisdom and find good answers. Write these memories down or say them to yourself when you feel doubt. They help remind you that the ability to trust yourself is already there. Sometimes trusting yourself means trying something new, not because someone else said so, but because you feel it is best for you. It might be saying yes to an experience that excites you, or saying no to something that does not feel right. When you act in this way, you show yourself respect. Even if you are nervous, you learn that your thoughts and feelings matter. You may find it helpful to pause before making a decision, even for a few moments. Put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and ask, "What do I really want? Does this feel right to me?" Listen for the quiet answer inside, not the loud answers from outside. The more you try this, the clearer your own inner voice becomes. At first, it may only be a soft feeling or a small thought. With practice, your inner voice will become easier to notice and trust. Some days, you make a decision that does not turn out as you hoped. You might feel sad or worried after a choice. This does not mean you should stop trusting yourself. Every person makes mistakes. It is part of learning. Each time you choose for yourself and learn from the outcome, your trust in yourself grows stronger. You start to see that you can be gentle with yourself, even when things go wrong. Another important part of trusting yourself is learning the difference between advice and your own truth. Advice can be helpful. It can give new ideas, but your true path is something only you can know. When someone gives advice, take a moment to see how it feels. Does it make you feel more yourself? Does it fit your values? If it does, you can use it. If not, you do not have to follow it. Trusting yourself also means being honest when you do not know the answer right away. Sometimes you need time to explore or to ask questions. Sometimes you need space to feel your feelings and let new ideas come in. Giving yourself time and patience is part of building self-trust. If you notice your mind looking outside for answers, gently bring your focus back inside. Say to yourself, "I can listen to myself. I can give myself time." This practice does not mean ignoring everyone else, but it does mean letting your voice lead, not follow. Some people expect that trusting themselves will feel strong and sure all the time. In real life, self-trust is quiet and steady. It grows with every choice you make from your heart, with every feeling you listen to, and with every mistake you forgive yourself for. There may be days when you do not feel certain. That is normal. Feeling unsure is part of being human. But you continue to practice, and slowly, your own voice gets louder and more clear. Self-trust is not about always being right. It is about caring for yourself, standing beside yourself, and being willing to learn as you go. When you learn to trust yourself, you begin to feel comfortable with both your strengths and your weaknesses. You are open to new lessons, but do not let doubt decide your actions. Daily life becomes easier when you practice this skill. Making choices takes less energy because you do not have to guess what everyone else wants. There is less worry about being wrong because you know it is okay to try. When you stand by your decisions, you also learn to stand up for yourself if others question you. Facing moments of conflict or disagreement can be an important part of self-trust. If you say what you truly feel and someone does not like it, you may feel scared or alone at first. But with time, you see that you can handle these hard moments. Your sense of self grows each time you stay true to what you believe. You become less afraid of what others will think and more interested in living a life that fits who you are. Some people believe that self-trust means you do not need help from others. But this is not true. Asking for help is part of being wise. It is knowing your limits and respecting them. Self-trust lets you know when it is time to seek advice and when it is time to make your own choice. You can listen to others and still decide what to do based on your own understanding. If you have made choices in the past that hurt you, it can be hard to trust yourself again. You may fear that you will make the same mistake, but every day is new. You can forgive yourself, learn from what happened, and practice making different choices now. Each small step helps rebuild your belief in your own judgment. Self-trust also means accepting your feelings, even the ones that are hard or painful. When you are sad, angry, or lonely, try to listen without judgment. These feelings are messages from inside. You do not have to hide from them or push them away. The more you accept your feelings, the easier it becomes to know what is right for you. Your body can also help you learn self-trust. Pay attention to when you feel relaxed, excited, or strong. Notice when you feel small, tense, or uneasy. These signals can show you what is true for you. If something feels wrong in your body, listen closely. If something feels peaceful or full of energy, that can be a sign it is a good choice for you. When you practice self-trust, you stop chasing perfect answers. You accept that you may need to try things, see how they feel, and then decide if you want to keep going. You become patient with your own growth. You are not rushed by other people's beliefs or the pressure to do everything right the first time. Self-trust helps you say yes to new things that excite you, and it helps you say no to things that are not right for you. You can set gentle limits with others and with yourself. You become your own support system. You do not wait for someone else to tell you how to live. With self-trust, you start to see the world differently. Other people's opinions matter less. You can enjoy praise and kindness without needing them to feel complete. You feel calm when there is disagreement because you know what is true for you. You become steady during ups and downs. If you feel doubt or fear, you can talk to yourself with kindness. Say, "It is normal to feel unsure sometimes. I can trust myself to do my best. This gentle talk builds courage. You stop looking for perfect safety outside yourself and begin to build it from within. Your relationships change in helpful ways when you trust yourself. You are able to speak your needs more clearly. You become a better listener because you are not lost in worry about what others think. You allow yourself and others to make mistakes, knowing that people are always learning. Self-trust does not mean you will never feel afraid. It means you keep moving forward, even when you are afraid. Each time you act from your own wishes and values, your trust becomes stronger. If you fall, you get up and try again. Your sense of who you are becomes solid. With greater trust, you may notice that it feels easier to accept yourself fully. You are less ashamed of your weaknesses and more gentle with your past. You do not need to hide parts of who you are, even if others would not always accept them. You begin to feel more whole. Over time, trusting yourself brings a deep sense of peace. You feel less need to chase approval. You feel ready to show up as yourself wherever you go. Life feels lighter, simpler, and more rewarding. The old habits of doubt and worry become small, and your real self, kind, wise, and capable, becomes the foundation for everything you do. You will still have days when you question yourself. You may still look for reassurance. This is normal. The difference is that you now know how to pause, listen, and choose your own answer. Bit by bit, you grow into a person who listens closely, makes honest decisions, and handles life's changes with calm and care. With each decision you make for yourself, you show yourself love and respect. You do not need to be perfect or make only the best choices. You learn, you grow, and you try again. Each day you trust yourself a little more. You live with more freedom and joy. As you live this way, you begin to accept all parts of yourself, your strengths, your struggles, your hopes, and your fears. You notice that your life feels more real. You see that you can depend on yourself. You do not have to wait for the world to say who you are. You already know, inside, that you are enough. When you start to feel that you can depend on yourself and make honest choices, another important part of your journey begins. This part is about learning to accept every part of who you are. It means seeing both your good qualities and your weaknesses, your joys and your mistakes, your dreams and your worries. Accepting all of these parts can bring peace and a strong sense of self-worth. It also helps you become kinder to yourself and others. For many people, it feels easy to notice what they do well. Maybe you are friendly, hardworking, or creative. Maybe you help others, take care of your family, or do your job carefully. These are good qualities, but sometimes you might find it hard to see these in yourself because your mind quickly finds faults and problems. It is very common to notice what is wrong more than what is right. You might think, I should be stronger, or I always make mistakes. When these thoughts happen, you forget the many good things about yourself. Other times you may only see your strengths and ignore the things you find difficult. You might feel ashamed about your weaknesses or hope that others do not notice them. You might work hard to hide parts of yourself that you believe people will not like. You may feel scared that if someone finds out your secrets, they will not want to be near you. Sometimes you want to be perfect, or only show your best side. You may think that hiding your faults will make others respect or like you more. But hiding your real self can make you feel tired, lonely, or not good enough. This way of living brings stress because you must always pretend or keep parts of yourself hidden. You may worry that if you show your true self, you will be rejected. True acceptance means you can look at every part of yourself with honesty and kindness. You can say, these are the things I do well, and also, these are the things I find hard. You can accept your story, your past, your body, your feelings, and your worries. You do not have to love everything about yourself, but you can stop fighting against your real self. One way to start is to look at your qualities. Write down a list of things you like about yourself. These can be small things, like being patient with a child, making a friend smile, or finishing a task at work. Include bigger things, too, like getting through a hard time, being loyal, or trying to improve your life. If you find it hard to start, ask someone you trust to help you see your qualities. Next, look at the things you struggle with. Write down things about yourself that are difficult. Maybe you have a quick temper, or maybe you feel nervous in groups. Maybe you make mistakes at work or forget things easily. Instead of judging yourself harshly, try to look at these facts with curiosity and care. Remember, every person in the world has strengths and weaknesses. You are not alone. If you notice shame or sadness, do not turn away. Let yourself feel whatever comes up. Say to yourself, it's okay to have hard days. It's okay to be human. It's okay to not have all the answers. When you speak this way, you start to heal old wounds and reduce the pressure to be perfect. You remind yourself that it is normal and safe to make mistakes, to feel upset, or to need help. Your story, both the good and the bad moments, makes you who you are. Your past experiences have given you wisdom, skills, and lessons. Even the moments you regret have helped you grow. When you say yes to all parts of your life, you feel lighter. You stop wishing you were someone else and start seeing the beauty in your own story. Accepting yourself also means accepting your feelings. Sometimes you may feel angry, sad, jealous, or afraid. These feelings can be uncomfortable. Many people try to push them away or act as if they do not exist. But feelings are normal. They are messages from inside your mind and your body. When you let yourself feel and understand your emotions, you build trust with yourself. You do not need to change your feelings or pretend they are not there. You can simply notice that they are part of you. With acceptance, you can learn to manage your weaknesses, not just hide them. If you know that social situations make you nervous, you can prepare. If you tend to act quickly without thinking, you can pause and take a breath. If you feel jealous, you can ask yourself why and what you really need. Each weakness becomes a chance to grow with care, not with shame. Sometimes you have habits you wish you could change. Maybe you eat too much when you are stressed, or you stay up too late, or you avoid hard tasks. Change can be slow, and it is normal to fall back into old patterns. When this happens, show yourself patience. Speak gently to yourself. Say, I can start again. This way, you move forward as a friend to yourself, not as an enemy. If you see your mistakes as lessons and not as proof that you are not good, you begin to relax. You know that making a mistake does not mean you have failed as a person. Nobody on earth gets everything right every time. Each time you fall and get up again, you show you have courage and strength. Self-acceptance also means allowing parts of yourself that you do not yet understand. Maybe you do not know why you feel sad sometimes or why you lose your temper. Instead of blaming yourself, try to be curious. You can say, I wonder where this feeling is coming from. Over time, you may find the answer, or you may learn to allow the feeling without needing an answer right away. When you treat yourself with kindness, you start to accept that you are enough. You do not demand perfection from yourself. You do not need to earn your worth through success or the approval of others. You allow yourself to take space, make noise, dream, and feel differently from those around you. Sometimes others may not accept all of you. They may tell you to change or point out what they see as your faults. You have the right to listen to what they say, but you also have the right to decide for yourself. If their words are helpful, you can use them to grow. If not, you can let them go. Remember that you do not have to shape your whole life to fit someone else's idea. When you stop hiding your real self, you become more honest in your relationships. You can tell friends or family when you are happy, sad, or tired. You can ask for help without feeling like a burden. When you share your true feelings and needs, people see the real you. This builds stronger, deeper connections. Some people may step away, but real friends and loved ones will respect and support you. Living honestly can be scary at first. You may worry about being judged, rejected, or left out. These are real fears. As you start sharing your true self in gentle ways, you will see which people are safe and caring. Over time, you will feel stronger and more at peace. You will notice that the people who remain by your side love the real you, not just the side you show to win approval. As you accept yourself, you also become kinder to others. When you know that you have struggles, you understand that everyone else does too. You stop expecting perfection from the people around you. You allow others to have hard days, to make mistakes, and to grow in their own time. You show patience and understanding because you know how important it is to receive the same from others. Sometimes, you may compare yourself to others. You may see someone who seems more successful, more popular, or more confident. When you compare, it is easy to feel sad or less important. But remember, you never know all parts of someone else's life. Every person has fears, doubts, and sadness, just like you. The more you accept your own story, the less you need to compare or compete. If you ever find it hard to accept yourself, return to simple acts of kindness. Feed your body healthy food, get enough rest, and spend time doing things you love. Remember your favorite music, your favorite memories, and your hopes for the future. Talk gently to yourself as you would to a friend. Remind yourself that you are worthy and good, even when life is difficult. Writing can help too. Try writing letters to yourself from one part of you to another. Let the kind and wise voice inside you speak to the worried or sad part. Say things like, "You are doing your best," or "It is okay to feel how you feel." Over time, these gentle words will start to feel more natural, and you will believe them more deeply. You can also practice gratitude. Each day, think of one thing about yourself that you are grateful for. It might be your ability to listen, your courage to try new things, or your sense of humor. Notice these things without needing anyone else to agree or comment. Your gratitude for yourself is as important as gratitude for others. Forgiving yourself is part of acceptance. If you feel bad about something you said or did in the past, remember that all humans make mistakes. Say, "I am sorry," if you need to, and then let yourself move forward. Do not carry old mistakes as proof that you are not worthy. Let them become part of your story, but not your whole story. Over time, full self-acceptance makes daily life lighter. You stop feeling pressure to change for every opinion around you. You dress how you like. You speak honestly. You try new things without waiting for someone else to say, "That is good." You rest when you need to. Your mind and heart become quieter and more at peace. You can choose to keep growing and learning, but you do not grow from a place of shame. You grow because you care about yourself and want your life to be rich. You treat mistakes as teachers and celebrate your successes, big or small. As you accept yourself more, you enjoy being alone and being with others. You do not need to impress everyone you meet. You choose friends, work, and hobbies that match who you truly are. Your relationships are more honest, and your joys feel bigger. Inside, you know you are enough just as you are. If you feel resistance or doubt coming back, let it be. You do not need to force acceptance. Some days will feel harder than others, and that is part of life. Each moment you practice kindness to yourself, the path gets a little clearer. In this way, your strong sense of self grows. You stop waiting for someone else to give you approval. You stop needing to hide your fears, your sadness, or your mistakes. You love your life because it is yours, in all its joys and all its challenges. When you stop waiting for approval from others and start accepting yourself more fully, you notice a new feeling growing inside you. This feeling is freedom. It is a lightness that enters your daily life. You begin to move through your days with less fear of rejection or criticism. You make choices because they are true for you, and not just because you want someone to notice or agree. This new way of living brings calm inside your mind and heart. You are no longer chained by the silent rule that says, you must please others to be good enough. You may notice that you say yes only to what feels right for you. You may say no when something does not fit what you want or need. It becomes easier to make decisions without checking first what others want you to do. Even small things like how you dress, what you eat, or how you spend your time start to show your real wishes. You begin to trust yourself with these choices, and you let go of the constant worry about how you appear. Before you learned to live this way, you may have felt that every action was being watched or judged. You may have feared making mistakes or having others disagree with you. Now, you allow yourself to be different. You know that it is impossible to make everyone happy, and that is no longer your goal. If someone does not like what you do not take it as proof that you are wrong. You see disagreement as a normal part of life. Living free from the need for approval means you feel safe to try new things. If you want to join a new class, start a hobby, or change your routine, you do it for yourself. The fear of what others might say grows smaller. If someone laughs or questions your choice, you remember that your value does not change. You can listen to feedback without letting it erase your joy or your direction. As this freedom grows, you learn to set healthy limits. You know the difference between giving your time with love and giving only because you feel you must. You have the right to stop when you are tired, or to step back from situations that hurt or stress you. This way of living honors both your needs and the needs of others without turning your life into a list of tasks to keep everyone else satisfied. Sometimes, people in your life may push against these changes. They might be used to you always agreeing, always saying yes, or always doing things their way. Some people may not understand your new boundaries at first. They may be surprised or ask questions. Even when this happens, you can stay calm inside. You know that it is healthy to take care of yourself, just as much as you care for others. You also learn that nobody's approval can replace real, lasting peace. Compliments and applause feel good, but you are not hungry for them. You start to appreciate love and support as gifts, not necessities. If someone gives you kind words, you accept them with a smile. If nobody notices your effort, you still know you did something worthwhile. Speaking with honesty becomes part of your day. You share your opinions, even if others might see things differently. You respect people's differences without feeling a need to change who you are. You may notice that some conversations become deeper and more real. You use your voice to share ideas, ask for what you need, and offer support to others. These honest moments build stronger, more respectful relationships. Making mistakes no longer feels like a disaster. Every person makes errors, and you know this is a normal part of being human. If you do something you wish you had not done, you accept it, learn from it, and move on. You do not shrink with shame or try to hide. You may even feel comfortable saying, "I was wrong," or "I am sorry," because you know that mistakes do not erase your worth. Living for yourself does not mean you stop caring about others. It means that you care about yourself too. You are able to listen, give, and support your friends and family. But you can also say, "I cannot help right now," or "I need time for myself." Your love for others is not a way to win approval. It comes from a calm and caring place inside you. There are times when others may not understand your choices. They may not agree, or they may feel surprised when you do not fit their ideas about who you should be. In these moments, you stay steady. You listen with respect, but you do not change your values or dreams just to belong. The feeling of loss or worry can come, but you know it will pass, and your life will still be yours. Old feelings of doubt may return sometimes. You may notice your mind asking, "Will they like me?" or "Am I doing the right thing?" You do not try to push these thoughts away. Instead, you treat them as reminders of your growth. You can gently remind yourself that your worth is not on trial. You keep moving forward step by step, even when old worries appear. You notice that it takes less energy to move through the day. You do not spend hours replaying conversations or worrying about comments. Your mind has more space for calm and new ideas. You begin to use your energy for things that matter to you. Creativity, learning, and joy have more room to grow. Free from the constant search for validation, you may discover new parts of yourself. You find passions and skills you did not know you had. You enjoy moments for their own sake. Quiet hours alone, time spent with true friends, or simple pleasures that used to be colored by worry. You are able to celebrate progress, even if it is small or goes unseen by others. If someone criticizes you or disagrees strongly, you allow yourself to listen. You consider if there is something useful to learn. If so, you are happy to improve. If not, you let it go. No single person's words can decide who you are. Criticism loses its power to cut deep because your sense of self does not depend on it. Freedom from the need for validation also changes how you handle stress. Hardships and problems still come, but you do not make things harder by blaming yourself or waiting for someone else to fix your feelings. You take care of yourself in simple ways: resting, talking to someone you trust, taking a walk, or doing something kind for yourself. You know you will move through hard times with patience. You start to forgive yourself more easily. You let small mistakes go instead of holding on to them for days. You accept that nobody, not even you, can do everything right all the time. This gentle attitude helps you relax and feel safe inside your own skin. You may find that your relationships become healthier. When you are honest about your needs and limits, others know what to expect from you. Real friends and caring family will love you for who you are, not just for what you give them. You know that if someone leaves your life because you are honest, it means they were not truly part of your real support circle. There will always be people who see things differently from you. Some people may judge, gossip, or try to make you doubt yourself. It is normal to feel disappointed at these moments. But with your new freedom, you do not have to fight or prove yourself to anyone. You remind yourself that you are living your own life, not someone else's. Saying no becomes easier. You can offer help and love when it feels true, and you can step back when it is not the right time for you. You trust that people will learn to respect your limits, and that those who do not are showing you who they are. New choices feel more possible. You begin to look at your dreams and ask, what do I want next? You may write down ideas you hope to explore, places to visit, or skills to learn. You feel less afraid of trying because you no longer need every step to be approved by others. Sometimes life brings challenges or events that make it easy to fall back into old habits. You might notice yourself looking for support or waiting for a sign that you are okay. When this happens, remember how far you have come. Take a slow breath, remind yourself of your values, and take one small step. With time, you find your way back to your own center. As you practice living this way, your days grow lighter. You are able to enjoy fun, laughter, and small adventures without waiting for someone else to say, "That is good." You see beauty in your own choices, and you value moments for what they are, not for what they make you look like to others. You are able to give to others more honestly. Your kindness is not a trade for praise or approval. You show up with a loving heart, and you honor your own needs at the same time. This balance lets you give more without feeling empty or taken for granted. You may want to celebrate your freedom. You might create a small ritual, write a letter to yourself, or share your journey with someone who supports you. Each time you notice your growth, thank yourself for the courage to change old patterns. Sometimes you might meet new people who also live with more honesty and less need for outside approval. These friendships feel easy and calm. You support each other in gentle, honest ways. You lift each other up without trying to control or change each other. These relationships can become a safe space for both of you to be real. Living free from the need for validation brings you closer to real happiness. You are no longer busy trying to guess what others want from you. Your laughter, your rest, your work, and your dreams belong to you. You listen to advice without losing your voice. You can grow and change, but never feel that you must erase who you are just to fit in. There may still be difficult days, sadness, or moments when you feel lonely or unsure, but inside, the ground beneath you is stronger. You trust that you can move through the hard times. You no longer need to chase after someone else's approval to come back to your own peace. With each step, you discover more of your real self. You see that happiness is possible, not because everything is perfect or because everyone agrees with you, but because you finally belong to yourself. Your life feels truer, lighter, and more open. You are ready for each new morning and for all the honest, real, and peaceful moments to come. When you begin to wake up each day feeling free to be yourself, you find a new kind of calm. This calm does not come from getting everything right or from having everyone agree with you. It comes from living with self-respect and peace. You know you can trust your own heart, and you do not have to wait for approval. You know you are already enough, just as you are. You start to see that happiness grows from inside, not from other people's praise or attention. Your daily life feels different. The choices you make are more simple. You do not spend many hours worrying about what someone else might think. If you make a mistake or change your mind, you forgive yourself and keep moving forward. When you look in the mirror, you see a person who is real, honest, and doing their best. You have stopped living your life as a performance for others. Now you belong to yourself. This feeling of calm grows stronger the more you practice self-respect. Self-respect is not about being proud in a loud way or trying to show people that you are better than them. It is quiet. It is a soft, strong feeling inside. It also means caring about how you treat yourself, even if no one else is watching. You give yourself kindness. You listen to your own truth, and you forgive your mistakes. When you respect yourself, you set a clear example for how you wish others to treat you too. In your relationships, this new way of living brings many changes. You find it easier to talk about your needs. You say what feels right, and you let others know if something hurts you. You are not rude or cold, but you also do not hide your true feelings to keep others happy all the time. You listen with care, but you do not let your voice disappear in a group or with your loved ones. Because you are honest, your relationships become clearer and stronger. When people meet you, they notice your peace. They know they can trust you because you are not pretending or trying to be perfect. You are open about your hopes and your limits. This honesty invites others to be open too. The people who respect your real self become more important in your life, and the people who do not understand may slowly move away. You do not fight this. You accept that your life is now built on what is true, not just what is easy. When problems appear, at work, at home, or with friends, you do not feel lost or broken. You trust that you will find a way through. You do not feel you must carry all the responsibility or blame. You can ask for help, share your feelings, or take a break when needed. The old fear of being judged or rejected loses its power. You become a better family member, friend, or partner because you do not depend on others to feel whole. You meet them with kindness because you are already full of respect for yourself. You are generous without feeling empty, and you can give support to others without losing yourself. You allow the people close to you to be themselves too, because you no longer fear that their choices will change your worth. Sometimes, changes in your life will still surprise you. Maybe you lose a job, move to a new place, or end a friendship. At these times, the calm you have built inside will help you. You will still have feelings of sadness, confusion, or even fear, but these feelings do not take away your peace. You know these are just parts of life, and you know that you will still belong to yourself at the end of each day. You are not quick to judge people. Because you know how hard it is to accept your real self, you are patient with others. You listen openly and forgive more easily because you understand everyone carries their own worries and hopes. You do not measure people by their mistakes or by how much they meet your needs. You value kindness, truth, and respect, and you give those gifts freely. Even in moments of failure, you do not turn against yourself. If you cannot finish something you started, if you lose your temper, or if you forget something important, you do not say you are bad or unworthy. You remind yourself that all humans have difficult days. You rest, you learn, and you keep going. Your mistakes do not become a story about your value. Happiness becomes something steady. It is not up and down all the time. It is not dependent on how many compliments you get, how many people notice your work, or how often you win. Some days are hard and you may feel sad or angry. But underneath, there is a gentle warmth that does not leave you. You trust it to carry you through. The search for approval was never able to give this steady peace. When you depended on outside praise, you always had to work harder for the next kind word. You felt tired and worried because approval could vanish in a moment. Now you know the truth. Your value cannot be given or taken away, and your peace does not move with every change in the world around you. Your mind has more space to enjoy the things that matter. Small moments bring real joy. A good meal, a walk in nature, a conversation with a friend. Ordinary days are enough. You are not rushing to the next achievement for attention. You are learning to feel thankful for what you have and who you are. Life feels lighter, more honest, and more full of hope. As you grow in self-respect, you learn to set clear and gentle boundaries. You say yes when you want to say yes, and you say no when you mean no. You do not feel guilty for needing time alone, for resting, or for changing your mind. People may not always understand, but you do not need everyone's agreement to know that you are right for yourself. You feel strong from within. You notice that your self-respect changes your goals. You still want to grow, to improve, and to learn about yourself and the world. But now, you do these things for your own joy and growth, not for applause. You choose new dreams because you love them, not because they look good to someone else. You become more of a guide for your own life. This peace is visible to people around you. You may receive comments or questions about how you have changed. People may ask for your advice or simply enjoy being around you. Sometimes those closest to you will be inspired to start their own journey of self-acceptance. In this way, your change becomes a light that helps others, not by force, but by example. You keep learning. Even after you build this strong feeling of peace and respect, new situations will come up. Sometimes you will doubt yourself for a day or a week. Old feelings of needing approval may visit again. This is not a failure. It is a reminder that you are always growing. On those days, you return to your simple truths. You have value. You trust your own heart, and you are allowed to make mistakes. If you wish, you can create simple habits to help you remember these truths. Each morning, you can stand in front of the mirror and say, "I am enough." Before bed, you can remember 3 things you did well, even if they are very small. When doubts come, you can picture yourself as a friend and offer yourself gentle words and understanding. In moments of conflict, you use calm words instead of anger. You ask for what you need simply and clearly. If others do not listen or agree, you do not lose your sense of self. You listen carefully, speak honestly, and hold on to your truth. Talking things through does not hurt your peace because you are steady on the inside. Your feelings about success and failure change. You see that success is not only about high marks, victories, or attention from others. Success is about being honest with yourself, caring for others, and living with peace. Failure is part of life, and it is just as important for growth as any achievement. You allow yourself to try, to fall, and to get up again, always learning. Old wounds heal slowly as you keep practicing this way of living. You forgive yourself for past mistakes. You may even forgive others who hurt you with their words or actions. Forgiveness does not mean you must welcome everyone back into your life. It means letting go of the pain and stopping the old cycle of doubt and shame that kept you from being happy. Little by little, each day feels more open. You are not afraid to dream again. You become interested in meeting new people, learning new things, and exploring the world in your own way. If you feel lonely at times, you know that you can comfort yourself with your presence. If you feel afraid, you hold steady and wait for the feeling to pass. You look at your journey and see how far you have come. You remember the hard moments when it felt impossible to let go of the need for approval. You honor all the effort it took to trust yourself and accept yourself fully. This is something to be proud of. You remind yourself that happiness is not a place you arrive at once and for all. It is something built slowly by your choices, your kindness, and your self-respect. It is the way you show up for your own life, every morning and night, through change and through calm. You may notice more beauty in the simple things: the sound of laughter, the feeling of sun, the taste of good food, the softness of sleep, the comfort of honest friendships. These things fill your days with meaning. You do not need anyone to tell you that you deserve them. You already know you do. You may want to help others find this peace. You do not have to teach or change anyone. Just by being yourself, loving fully and living honestly, you create space for others to do the same. If someone comes to you in pain, you listen without needing to fix them. You offer calm support, knowing that real peace must begin within each person. Building a life of self-respect and peace is a journey that lasts as long as you live. Every new day brings chances to practice what you have learned. On some days, it is easy to feel grateful and steady. On other days, it may feel hard. Both are normal. The important thing is to return to your own truth each time. You are enough, you are worthy, and you can rest in this peace. You are free. You do not need to be perfect. You can enjoy the world without fear of judgment. You grow, you change, and you share your real self, knowing that this is the best gift you can offer to yourself and to everyone you meet. As you live with this gentle strength, life becomes a little lighter. Your respect for yourself shapes every choice, every relationship, and every dream. Happiness and peace are not outside of you. They are waiting, always, within your own heart.